What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another deck profile. I'm Dave. I play Gear Chronicle, and this is my timely build. We're starting off with our starter, Chronodran. His skill is when he's placed in the bind zone, you may put him into the soul, and once you do, you may superior call a grade 3 or greater with Chronojet in its name, and at the end of the turn he returns to your hand. And of course, the star of the deck, the main person, you know who this is. It's Chronojet Dragon. Run him at 4 because if you don't, why? So his Generation Break 2 is when he attacks, he gains 5k and your opponent cannot guard with grade 1s or higher from hand to Guardian Circle. And his stride skill is Counterblast 1. Pick one of your units and put it to the bottom of their deck. Nice little retire feature. And for our awesome backup, as you know, we're still going with Balih, or Balih in English. I don't know what his actual pronunciation is in English. You could use Gear Eagle, which is the Chronoscommand one. When you stride a Chronoscommand, you place one on the bottom of the deck, and then take the top 10 and look for 2 time leap units and add them to your hand. But I just go with Balih because his skill to replace Chronojet when you stride, you may once per turn counterblast 1, put him at the bottom of the deck, take out Chronojet, and replace him as your heart. And he's also a rearguard skill, which is pretty neat. When he hits the Vanguard, counterblast 1 and tuck one of your front row. When your opponent's front row, rearguards. Moving on, we have our grade 2s, which we have 4 of History Maker Dragon, who is one of our key units for Time Leap. And the Time Leap, the mechanic is essentially you, when activated, you pick a rearguard, you put it in your bind zone, and then you superior call a unit with 1 grade higher from your deck. So what his effect is, when you attack a Vanguard, it doesn't have to be boosted. When you attack a Vanguard, counterblast 1 and time leap a unit. And he's pretty good to pull off some time leap shenanigans. Next in our grade 2 lineup, we have Upstream Dragon, who is a very MVP card. His skill is when he attacks a Vanguard, he gains plus 4,000 power, so he's a 13k beater. And at the end of the battle he attacks, you place him at the bottom of the deck and superior call a grade 1 at rest. This also creates nice plays because of our very techy grade 1 lineup. Our grade 2s, we also have 2 of the MVP of the entire clan. Smokegear Dragon, I almost said. Yeah, there's a video on why he's awesome. You should check that out. And lastly, we have 2 Steam Knight Lugal, who is our Tom clone for Gear Chronicle. When he's placed on rearguard, counterblast 1, he gains 2k and the skill. When he attacks, your opponent cannot guard with grade 0s. Now moving on to our grade 1s. We have 1 Steam Scara Gigi. When she's placed on rearguard, you Soul Blast 2, draw a card. This is your Calamity Tower clone. You can get her out with Upstream, you can get her out through time loop shenanigans, by time looping Chronodran into a Chronojet column. She's there for all the draw, all the utility, and if you make plays, you can do it twice in a turn, which is neat. We run 2 Steam Maiden Danish. She's one of the cards from the trial deck. Not a lot of people use her. I like her. Her skill is when she's placed, you're allowed to basically tuck a unit, but there's a condition. They tuck and they are allowed to call 1 grade less. Usually, if you have to call her out with Time Leap, you would leave the start of your opponent's starter there, because degrade that. You can't. There is no grade -1 in this game, not yet at least. Next we run 4 Steam Breath Dragon. This is the stride fodder. Most of you know what stride fodders do. This is Gear Chronicle. You need to run 4 stride fodder. Unlike some of our associates, we don't call them friends.
Really, associates?
We learn from our mistakes. So we run 3 Time Break Dragon. When you call him from hand, you are allowed to pick one of your units and time leap it. It's very good for, utility time leap plays. And to finish off our grade 1s, we run 4 Steam Maiden Arlim, the pretty perfect guard, the one that unflips. Most of you know how those work. And lastly, our trigger lineup, which is 8 crit, 1 heart thump still because I'm very poor. 4 draw, the Margo clone, Luckypot, Dracokid, and 4 heal triggers, which is the future G-Guard. That rounds up triggers. And now we get into the fun stuff. What is Gear Chronicle without its G-Zone? A deck without a mechanic, basically. So we're starting off with 2 Fiery March Colossus, a very interesting unit. When he attacks, you counterblast 1, choose one of your own rear guards and place it on the bottom of your deck. And then you get to choose one of your opponent's rear guards and place it on the bottom of their deck. And the catch is they cannot guard with whatever grade that you sent from their field from hand to Guardian Circle. So you spin a 1, they can't guard with 1s. You spin a 0, they can't guard with 0s. You get the idea. Next, we have Metallica Phoenix. On attack, you take 1 card in your G-Zone, turn it face up, and you're allowed to time leap a unit. And usually your target for this is Interdimensional Dragon, Chronoscommand Dragon. You can also, you just use it for its main skill, which is if it hits the Vanguard, counterblast 2, soul blast 1, and discard a card, take all of your opponent's rear guards, they lose their field. They spin your opponent's entire field. And the reason why we use Chronoscommand as the target for Phoenix, we run 2 Chronoscommand Revolution. When he is placed on Vanguard Circle, counterblast 1 and flip a copy of himself over. And if you have Chronoscommand face up, well, basically what happens before is you and your opponent basically spin everything, but if you have Chronoscommand face up, you're allowed to save 2 of your rear guards. So it's kind of like Tempest for Gear Chronicle in a way. And lastly, we have, you know who this is, the Matt. Chronodragon Nextage, for those of you who don't know what he does. On attack, well, after the battle he attacks, you counterblast 1, flip a copy of him face up, drop 3 cards, you place him back in the G-Zone, and have Chronojet stand up as the Vanguard. Most of you know what this combo is. You attack with him first unboosted, you see if you can get triggers on a booster, you attack with Chronojet for some glory skill, nice number, and hope to finish them off right there if they're at 5. Anyways, that was Time Leap. I hope you guys did enjoy. Leave any suggestions for the deck or your thoughts on the deck in the comment section down below, and we'll see you with some more Vanguard stuff.